Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Live from iRacing's virtual Martinsville Speedway, welcome sim racing fans to the Apex Racing League Truck Series live on Apex Racing TV. Happy that all of you are along for the ride with us here on this beautiful Thursday evening, wherever you're tuning in around the world for this round of the championship from the virtual paperclip. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Austin Knight. And Austin, we're off the heels of an exciting round 1 week ago at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Bit of a different racetrack than Charlotte. I think a lot of these viewers can already see high above at Martinsville.
It is a good day here at Martinsville, and it is going to be a big change of pace because, well, Charlotte is known for a lot of full throttle running. Here, it's going to be a lot of riding on the brakes and just trying to be all there on track and keeping your tires in check. And Martinsville is going to be probably one of the toughest races that these drivers are going to have to go, especially if they do not have a good qualifying.
We can take a look at the current pro points standings, how they currently stand in that points championship. And you can see Norbert Lightner closing that gap to Andrew Navarro. It's now 1 point separating those two. You have to go back 16 from first to find Bradley Wilson there in third. It's Max Wolf and Janos Motos that round out that top 5. The AM Championship, a little bit of a different story. It's Kevin Kittleman up at the front, Shane Dunn, Kev Copeland, the top 3 there with Mark Tranter and Alessandro Alessandro Dalladone, who's now in the Pro Championship, got up to 5th in the AM Championship before being pulled out of it. So now Mark Tranter taking over that spot, and Peter Bennett provisionally there in 5th. But Kevin Kittleman for Indy Autosport Red taking the early lead here in that championship as we enter the 4th round of the championship here from virtual Martinsville. And we have 4 rounds to go. After the conclusion of this race, we will be halfway done with this championship season. But no surprise who's up at the front of the field was Andrew Navarro. No surprise who's right behind him was Norbert Lightner. Martin Shirley working his way through turns 3 and 4. And the reason they call this track the paperclip, well, it's about the size of a paperclip, to be completely honest. I mean, it is very tight turns 1 and 2, very tight turns 3 and 4, with the pit lane stretching all the way from turn 3 back around to turn number 2. So the challenges these drivers will have with being on the brakes pretty much right there when the banners end, all the way to the middle of the corner, then getting right back on the gas to the back straightaway. It is going to be a challenge of racing in traffic, Austin, but also making sure those tires don't get overheated.
Yeah, this track is tight, very tight, especially for these trucks. They like getting a little bit wide, a little bit crazy. We're going to be seeing a lot of well, the right side of these trucks a little bit scraped up here, getting a little bit of that Martinsville stripe, and a lot of these drivers, particularly the road drivers, might have a little bit easier time here getting on the brakes and managing their way through the traffic. Though this is not the tightest track in all of iRacing. This is certainly up there, but I feel like a track that is much tighter right now would be the Mount Washington Hill Climb, which I think one of these drivers might have tried already to bring a truck up there and failed miserably.
I did. The first car I put on the hill climb was a NASCAR Cup Series Ford Mustang, and I don't believe I made it halfway. So they hit it all the way up in a truck. I am thoroughly impressed at that attempt. But Andrew Navarro getting some last-minute practice on the course. Of course, qualifying currently happening. Lone qualifying on the track. Each driver getting 4 laps and 10 minutes to set their best lap time. You're on board now with Dane Baird as he'll slide into turns 1 and 2 for Caro's competition. You can see getting on the gas a little bit late there, Austin. He floated that truck right up to the top of the racetrack, but take a look at that. A little bit late on the brakes, carrying it through the middle of the corner. Not a terrible lap from the 36 as he goes to put 1 in the bag.
Yeah, Dane very attuned to rallycross, so this actually should be in his realm of comfort as he goes 10th place. Gets back on the throttle. It's a little bit more wild this time, but gets right up to the wall. Not kissing it, though. And Dane gets right up to the curbs. Coming out of turn 4. Across the line, Dane Baird goes... stays 10th, actually. Does not improve.
Looked like it was a slight downward spiral there, about a 10th behind his first lap for Dane Baird. Mark Redford going to go up now to P10. He'll knock Baird down to P11 as Redford comes into turns 3 and 4. Second timed lap here. We'll see if he can improve on his 19.87 that he put down in the first lap, but it looks like it is not going to be any improvement, so he'll stay there in P number 10. Of course, 4 laps these drivers will get, so he has 2 more opportunities. Janos Motos getting some extra practice out on the track. He has already finished his 4, a fastest lap of a 19.94 seconds. About
yeah, it's
5
such a short
minutes
lap.
roughly remaining here in qualifying.
Yeah, this track is so short, such a short lap time. Less than 20 seconds average mainly, and just to pull out just a little bit. Oh, Alessandro locks up the brakes, goes into the wall, and I think he might have a concussion because he's driving. Oh no, he's going to the pit lane. He doesn't want to drive around anymore.
That is one creative way to go to the pit lane. I mean, I can understand that if you're at, Talladega or something, 2.66 miles, but this thing is about a half mile long. I don't think the drive around is really that much of an inconvenience for Alessandro. Apparently it is.
I feel like Alessandro is just being Alessandro, honestly. He's not happy if it's qualified. That was his first lap, too. I feel like he's trying to give himself a faster pair. It's qualifying, Alessandro. You just tow, get it back. He's back out on track now. He's the only driver outside of Steve Brown, who I believe disconnected. Alessandro is the only driver to not put in a valid lap yet. We saw in case of point why, he just waited to the pit lane and hit the wall and drove backwards. And so, well, he's putting down his first time, and let's see if he actually makes these corners.
And Janos Motos, who we're focusing on right now, already put in his lap time, so he's getting some extra practice out there on the track, which could be much needed as we get ready to go racing here tonight from Martinsville. About 3 minutes left for really just Alessandro Dalladone to get the lap times in, and we'll see.
I feel like Marco is playing is just despising putting the camera on Alessandro right now.
I would not be surprised if that is it. It sounds like he's updating paints. I don't know if I really want to believe him, Austin, but I think
I'm not believing him. He's just ashamed of Alessandro so much that he's not putting in the camera time. And I
believe we got a second there of Alessandro Dalladone, but a 34.31. That is not a good time from the 61.
backwards. Gosh dang it, Alessandro.
He improved on his lap time. I'm not sure how, but a 33.55 is his fastest lap time, as I believe he continues to drive backwards.
Optimization. Oh, this is the greatest moment in this channel's history.
Well, with that, and with Janos Motos continuing to get some practice out there on the track, Alessandro Dalladone continuing to drive backwards, and he'll now tow it into the pit lane. Qualifying now concluded. Everybody that is in the race server has put down a fast lap time, so now we'll just wait for that clock to work its way down about a minute and a half. Oh no, Steve Brown is going to take to the track, it looks like, so we will see a time from number 37. And the Martin Sports livery on that car, and we're going to take a ride around Martinsville with Steve Brown in the Autosport White. Let's see if he can put down a good flying lap time as we go into turn 1.
Well, if he keeps all four wheels on the track and the car pointed forward, he's definitely going to be out-qualifying Alessandro Dalladone, which is, you know, as a pro, that is a very, very horrible qualifying time. You know, something just might have not gone wrong with that car. I think it was stuck in reverse, I'm not sure. Steve Brown comes across the line, and he does out-qualify Alessandro Dalladone. And
who would have thought?
Yeah, I can't believe it. He out-qualified a pro. But yeah, last week,
a little bit further up here in the 37, because he is still 24th.
Yeah, well, he did out-qualify a pro, and Steve's next lap does improve to a 20.33, and that, even though he's down in 24th right now, he is still just 7/10 away from the top times of everybody else, which is just incredible because this track is so tight. Everyone knows how to get around here. Brown improves up to 21st, and he's going to sign his check right there and park it up. Does have a few more laps to go to, but he's not going to finish that one out. Last week, we had caution-free race here at Charlotte. They're at Charlotte. No drivers retired. We did have a few incidents and rig failures, but no cautions came out from that. Are we going to be seeing that happen again?
We could see that today, but Martinsville always providing some beating and banging and some tempers flaring as a typical short track would. Let's take a look at the starting grid here for round number 4 of the season from the virtual Martinsville Speedway. It's Andrew Navarro for Lunatic Racing back up at the top of the speed charts with Norbert Lightner to his outside. It's Tim Perry, Max Wolf, and Bradley Wilson rounding out that top 5, with Fraser Smith rounding out the top 6 for the Pro Championship. Mark Trancer there, the first for the AM Championship there in 7th. Dan Parmalee, Lockie Brown, and Mark Redford rounding out the top 10. It's Dane Baird and Kevin Kittleman sharing that 6th row all the way down to P12. Janos Motos in 13th, Fernando Torres 14th, with Peter Bennett rounding out the top 15. It's Mark Hutchinson, Samuel Kumo, Sebastian Detweiler, Kev Copeland, and Victor Lewandowski. That rounds out that top 20 with Steve Brown, Shane Dunn, Alex Rogenbuck, and Martin Shirley, and Alessandro Dalladone down in the 25th spot to round out the 25 drivers who are ready to take the green flag here from virtual Martinsville Speedway. And we get ready for an exciting round of the championship in the first short track, I should say. If you count Phoenix as a short track, I certainly do. 1 mile in length, so that will be the championship finale. But this is the shortest racetrack we will go to on the calendar. Austin, it is very different from Daytona, very different from Watkins Glen, very different from the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
It certainly is, but before we get to green, I think we should play our favorite game. What's Samoli pulling? Here today it is pickup truck, and it looks like it's IKEA boxes. Yeah, it is IKEA.
Indeed.
Hopefully he has some Allen keys in those boxes and they don't fall out, because we're gonna need them.
Oh, if you lose one of those Allen wrenches, you are in for a world of hurt, especially if you're putting together IKEA furniture.
Yeah, hopefully you don't.
Did you use the Allen keys to tighten up the bolts on the truck? Because I don't know if those will be exactly that reliable.
Well, you do use a form of Allen key. It's a big Allen key to make some adjustments. So his picker is going to be. Ooh, that might come into play because you can't leave parts on the truck in a pit box. So hopefully his crew doesn't reach in there and pick up some Allen keys and do some track bar adjustments on there.
Well, we're going to have to hope that Samuel Kumo does not lose those Allen wrenches in the back of that car. Starting on the pole, Andrew Navarro looking for his 3rd race win of the season. Norbert Lightner to his outside looking for his 2nd. Lightner has an opportunity to tie Andrew Navarro at the front of the points championship in terms of wins and take the lead in the points standings. It's going to come down to 125 laps around the virtual paperclip. The pace car down into the safety of pit lane. Andrew Navarro sees the green flag in the hands of Barney the Flagman, and we are underway from Martinsville. It's a good start for Andrew Navarro on the bottom. Can Lightner get around on that outside line? They dive into one for the first time, perfectly rolling the corners, the 42. He's going to clear the 19 as they head down the back straightaway for the first time. Already into turn number 3, back hard onto the brakes. It's side by side behind, multiple drivers trying to gain spots, but they come across the line. Kittleman off the base on the top of the racetrack, and already we are 1 lap completed.
1 lap completed, but there's so much damage on the cars already. We got cars bumping into each other. There was a lot of wheel spin coming off the line. Kittleman's got a stripe on his car. There's a few hoods already bent forward. Some Mulikumo has bumped a few of those IKEA boxes as he charges down the inside of Victor Lewandowski right there. Already has some nose damage. I feel like off the line, somebody spun up the wheels. Lewandowski trying to give the position back, and Kettleman, somebody is sideways right there. Mid-quarter, tapped into somebody else, got themselves corrected, but it's chaos in the back straight as they're 4 wide right there, trying to get around some slower traffic.
Up 5 spots, Sebastian Detweiler right now. Janos Moto's down 3 from where he started this race overall as he tries to regain a little bit on the outside of Copeland. Hard into the wall goes the 33. That's Hutchinson. Goes right in the middle of the track, and the first caution is out.
That's a blown engine too. He needs to jump over the curb, but he's going to have to lug that car around the track. It's a small track though, but Mark Hutchinson looks like he was side by side and made contact with the 82. Yeah, I got a good run on the 82 right there. 82 is out on the wall. Oh, and 82 came down on him, and that's Detweiler right there. He pushed him down.
Janos Motos getting a tiny bit of contact there, not too much. Definitely that slightly late reaction saved him from even more damage. There's that contact once again, sends Hutchinson down into the wall, and then take a look at this. Look out, everybody trying to escape it. Moto's getting some passenger side damage, but take a look at everybody else split the middle. Nobody else getting damage there, and that's the moment the caution flag flew for the first time tonight. Got a handful of laps in. There's the 33 into the pit lane. And he's going to grab his one quick repair and go right back out onto the racetrack. No tires, no fuel just yet. Just that quick repair for the 33. He'll stay on the lead lap, but go to the tail end of the field with that pit stop.
Yeah, and looking at this field right now, already seeing a lot of damage on a few of these cars. Top 4 looking just fine. But if we look back at the top 4, I would say about Mark Tranter, you might start seeing some damage on these trucks.
Transfer the number 16 for Caro's competition. He leads the AM class drivers in the overall standings
Ludo's
currently.
As well.
He's
not taking a fast repair. He's waiting in case he gets a meatball. So Peter Bennett used a fast repair right there. But Mudos, he's taking the time and just going with it.
Well, I think that's an interesting strategy, Austin, because you mentioned if he's saving it for when he will absolutely need to use it, but it does look like he's grabbing a bit of damage repair. We don't normally talk about Martinsville and aerodynamics, so you can get a good amount of damage to the truck and still keep that speed up considerably in the corners, but as well on the straightaways. It takes a lot to lose speed at Martinsville, so as the 87 gets caught behind the pace car, he's going to go one lap down. You can run here with a good bit of damage, especially to that back spoiler, and really not have much of a problem. The pace car pulls down, and we're ready to go back green.
We might have had a little bit of suspension damage as well, but I feel like Janos Mudos is just looking for, well, he's just trying to clear his head. He's had a very rough start. And speaking of starts, restarting right now. Navarro gets a great start as Perry and Lightner. Perry's down, Lightner's inside, and Perry's going to try to jump Lightner right now. And we got a spinner right there. That's Kev Copland. Second caution's out right now.
The 68 machine getting turned around, and the 35 on the car.
49.
Yeah, the 49 getting into him. That looks to be Shane Dunn for Spud Motorsport, and just some slight contact. Almost went fully around. It looked like it was 2 bits of contact, one to get him loose and one to save him from fully going around. And that is going to put us right back under the yellow flag. It doesn't look like any other trucks really getting too much damage. The 37 of Steve Brown got pushed up to the wall, but other than that, it does look like everybody else getting away fairly unscathed. As Peter Bennett in the 87, we mentioned him getting caught one lap down. He got caught behind the pace car when on the exit of the pit lane. When the pace car is going by, that pit lane exit will close, and that caught Peter Bennett one lap down, and luckily didn't get a black flag, but he's going to have to try and fight for a wave around. And Janos Moto
is the only car lap down. He is the only car lap down. The first car lap down, so he will be Andrew playing games right there. He will be the lucky dog, so there goes Peter. As everyone lining up on the inside, we're going to be seeing any games right here, but half a lap on this restart. Hopefully next time by, everyone behaves themselves. We don't want to be iRacing's version of the Nashville Music City Grand Prix here, even though it's, well, yeah.
So what you're saying is if we see a truck get airborne, we can bet on them to win?
They aren't Indy cars. They aren't that robust, but I'd say that's a one-time thing. I don't see any Swedes in the field, so nobody's enrolled in the Swedish space program, which apparently just gives you so much luck.
Well, currently
Though
working here
Samuli
under...
is carrying IKEA, though, so...
Okay. I think if Samuli goes in the air, I think we know exactly how this race is going to pan out.
Yes.
We are working here under the second caution of the day here in the Apex Racing League Truck Series. It's Andrew Navarro leading the way with Tim Perry behind him. Norbert Lightner, Max Wolf, Bradley Wilson rounding out the top 5 as we'll be getting ready to go back to racing next time by. Is Andrew Navarro giving a little bit of a hello to the iRacing pace car driver. I can't remember if we got a name for the iRacing pace car driver or not, but I remember that being a Twitter conversation.
We got Barney the Flagman, and I think it's Paul the pace car driver?
Is it Paul?
I am not sure.
I genuinely don't know if we ever got a name for him.
Paul... Peter. Martinsville.
I think we need to contact Tony Gardner at iRacing.
Yeah, we need. Oh wait, it's just Tony. That is Tony.
Okay, so Tony Gardner is driving the pace car. Do we have full confirmation?
Yeah, I can say that.
All right, well,
I'm not calling him slow. He knows every track.
Well, Tony Gardner is going to bring the iRacing pace car down into the pit lane. We're back underway here at Martinsville on the gas early through turn number 4 is Andrew Navarro. And that's going to give him a huge send.
Perry!
Turn number 1 as getting second place. It's Tim Perry. That's going to put Lightner down to 3rd. Top 6 all-pro drivers. They're going side by side a little bit further back. Trance are going to make a move on Brown in the number 24. We got to cross the wall. 7th. And the yellow flag is back out. That is going to be Lockie Brown into the wall. Just mentioned Tranter getting around him, and now he is turned around in turn 4.
Yeah, that was very, very quick action to see how much tempers flare. And he's down the inside, but he just cooked the brakes too much, locked it up, tried to keep it around there, drifted up the track, got hooked around. That's all Lockie Brown. And on that restart, Tim Perry was on the outside, beat out Lightner off the restart and managed to, well, cut across the nose right there and stay in second place. But back in caution here, and, you know, it was 9 cautions in National. I think we're going to beat that.
We're at caution number
restart.
3.
What a start by Perry.
And he needed that start as well because Norbert Lightner has been starting on the outside of the front row for every restart, including the initial start so far tonight. So Lightner trying to stay side by side with Navarro, but Navarro getting such a good restart going through turn number 4. He just starts to pull away, and Perry doing a good job taking advantage of that. Now that Norbert Lightner is going to be on that inside line, or sorry, he was on the inside line here for this start. Perry was able to get around him on the last one. Lightner needs a good start because he has speed in that wannabe SRT Chevrolet Silverado. He just needs to use it as we go on board with Lockie Brown. Here is the incident that put us under the 3rd caution. Got a little bit too much on the brakes, a little bit of contact with Trancer, and a little bit of contact with the 31 up on top of him. And that will put us back under the yellow flag. So, 3rd caution of the day. And it looks like an issue with Kev Copeland under pacing. Slow down on the apron.
Did he hit him? I think he might have hit somebody, or he just pulled away. I think he just had a little bit of pacing issues, and everybody's just a little bit jumbled up right here. As the lights are out on the pace car, everybody at the front knows what's going on, but everybody back there, well, I think they're as confused as a few IndyCar drivers at probably one of the worst restart zones I've ever seen.
Well, we're ready to go back to racing. Off of the 3rd caution to lap number 20, and it's another early start for Andrew Navarro, this time going through turn number 3. Green flag back in the air. It's Perry in 2nd. Lightner going to have to surrender the spot. Look at the dive to the bottom. That's Bradley Wilson with a huge send to the bottom of the 18. Contact made. The 18 saves it. What a save from Max Wolf. But here comes Bradley Wilson up to P4.
Wilson getting a few bumps off the inside. Oh, a big bump right there. Definitely not happy. Big crash right behind. The cars all over the place. They're all pointing forward. No cautions out apparently. But it's a big slowdown for a few of these trucks. And oh my goodness. That was a big slowdown. That's Deltweiler. He's got a lot of damage on that truck. But wow. How did everyone keep going through that cleanly? Alessandro Daldane has a lot of damage in that truck as well, and on his inside, oh, we got another caution. And that's Lockie Brown again. That's a blown engine too.
Shane Dunn also involved in this incident. We'll take a look at a replay.
That's a send by the 70, and yeah.
Oh my.
That is...
Ooh, nowhere for the 24 to go.
24 came into like freight train and bam into the side. Wonder, I've already lost count of how many cautions there are.
4, we're on 4.
Okay, I thought we were on 3.
On board with Samuli Kumo. Ooh, he barely missed it. Honestly, if the 24 was not there, we might not be talking about Samuli Kumo for the rest of the race, but A great save there from Samuli going up to the top side of the racetrack. And like you mentioned, back under the yellow flag, closing in on 100 laps to go. And
We got cars
Brown's
heading
going
into
to
the
take
pits.
that car into the pits.
Yeah, we have a few cars heading into the pits. Mark Tranter's in the pits. Alessandro's in the, well, a lot of cars with damage in the pits, but Mark doesn't have damage on his truck. This is a strategy call. And if this race continues like this, do you think we'll see anybody actually go into the pit lane? If it's about half a lap, a lap and a half of racing, do you think they'll actually have enough fuel to make it to the end without having to pit?
I am not sure. I think it's possible because remembering back to the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying iRacing series, I believe we went a similar distance to this, or maybe 25 laps more, and it was honestly pretty close on fuel. It was, I don't know, with the amount of cautions we're seeing here, maybe they'll be able to make it to the end, but it's going to be very, very close if we keep up this caution fest that we're currently seeing. But no, I tell you who's loving all these cautions, Andrew Navarro. I mean, he has not had to fight anybody so far this race, and he just gets a good restart. He's allowed to go whenever the pace car pulls into whenever that green flag drops. So he's been choosing pretty much middle of turn 4, middle of turn 3 to start going and hit that loud pedal. And he has been getting some great restarts and keeping that lead.
You definitely can. There's no restart zones here in iRacing. Only a few leagues actually go by them, but here in iRacing, we just use the iRacing rules here in the ARL. And everybody, well, you go when the pace car goes. Everyone's bunching up right there on the back straight. We're about to go back to green, green, green. Navarro, Perry, front row, and Perry's trying to beat out Navarro. Navarro bunching up everybody, getting onto the binders just a little bit. Back to green flag racing. Perry gets a good jump. He's cleared Lightner. Cuts right in front of Lightner. A little bit of a lockup right there, as that's Wilson just stuck on the outside. Now Wilson's going down to the inside. Lightner defending on Wilson. This fight for third place, very coveted right there because, well, Bradley Wilson, he really wants to get up there and be behind his teammate and make this a lunatic 1-2. The place that we see them probably the most in. Oh my gosh, that is one destroyed fender. Dan Parmalee getting into the back of Smith. And
look at that move to the
this
bottom.
end.
Oh, getting around, up into the wall goes the 37, the 67 of Fraser Smith, and the caution is going to come back out. Also getting involved, it's Mark Redford.
That is a lot of damage. We saw Smith with a lot of traffic behind him, already a lot of damage, and this is just him getting turned. Fifth caution of the night.
Yeah, that definitely looked like just everybody trying to dive into the corner, and that puts us under the fifth caution of the night. Still Andrew Navarro at the front of the field. It's Tim Perry, Norbert Lightner, Bradley Wilson, and Max Wolf, your top 5. We'll take a short break here on Apex Racing TV. When we return, it's more green flag action here from the virtual Martinsville Speedway. You're tuning in to the Apex Racing League Truck Series live on Apex Racing TV. Stick with us.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyse and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry log.
Welcome back to the virtual Martinsville Speedway. Time for the 5th restart of the night, coming off of the 5th caution here in the Apex Racing League Truck Series. Andrew Navarro, race leader, back on the gas, and we are green flag racing once again. Take a look at the dive to the bottom on Tim Perry for Norbert Lightner. Perry gonna completely miss the braking zone. The 83 Ford F-150 slams the wall in turn 1. They're 3 wide going down into the corner. It's Kittleman on the bottom. Parmalee in the middle. This can't work. Parmalee gets pummeled by the 83 and the 11. That's gonna send Perry back up to the wall. Perry falls from 2nd to 8th in 1 lap, and up into the top 5 goes Kevin Kittleman.
Kevin Kittleman somehow making it all the way through that 3 wide. What happened to Tim Perry's brakes off the start? He just flew past him, and that's allowed Lightner to get into 2nd place, but look who's behind Lightner in that 3rd spot. It is Andrew Navarro's teammate. We got some side-by-side action right here. Lewandowski and Dalladone side-by-side. Dalladone in the fight for 11, just holding it down. The Apex able to get past Victor right there. Victor did go into the pits for a change of, well, I think it was just a change. No, he hasn't gone into the pits. But as we were discussing in the breaks, there is no need to actually go into the pits now. Since there is no fuel restriction in these trucks, you can go to the end of the race from the start. And Alessandro Dalladone might be doing that right there. He did go into the pits once already to fix damage, but drivers up at front do not need to. If you got a clean truck, you got a clean truck, and it's going to be a lot of, well, it's going to be a long race, and we've officially had our longest green flag run so far.
Well, Austin, I think we also need to keep in mind that the fuel window and the tire window are 2 very different things. We could see some tire strategy coming up soon, where drivers are tired of the Goodyear tires they have on, especially if we get a long green flag run. The tires might start to scream, and who knows, a late race caution might lead to some tire strategy for a couple of guys, and we could see some 4 fresh tires on trucks cutting their way through the field to go battle for a win in the last handful of laps.
Yeah, might just see some right-hand tires in a caution, but definitely should not see any fuels. We take a look at our dancing dots of doom here at our very small mini-map right here. The top 4 pros, top 4 spots, but sitting in 5th, Kevin Kittleman. He's got a great lead in the amateur class right there. Able to pick himself up through there and, well, put himself into 5th place, and his nearest challenger is, well, the teammates, Mark Tranter and Dane Baird, and 10th and 11th.
Off of turn 4 comes Baird to take another lap here, running right behind his teammate Mark Tranter, but take a look behind him. Kev Copeland trying to get down underneath him, but Andrew Navarro still leading the way in his Toyota Tundra, and what a race he's putting together so far. I mean, take a look at that gap already to Norbert Lightner. It's about a 2nd separating these 2 right now as he races up off of the corner, and his teammate Bradley Wilson still trying to catch up to him. Alessandro Dalladone with a poor qualifying effort, up 16 spots from where he started, and almost getting into the back bumper of the 83 at Tim Perry. He slams on the brakes, able to keep it in P9 and not make contact, but that could have been close for Alessandro there in the 61.
Very close for both those drivers right there. Tim Perry might have turned into a very worse race if he was actually touched right there and turned around, because you get touched around here, there's only one way you're going to go, down the field. And Alessandro, well, he doesn't need to touch him right there. He's got the inside line, getting all the way. A very fit piece of cigarette paper between them. They're still side by side.
Down into the corner, Alessandro Dalladone with a great move to the bottom. Can he clear Tim Perry off the corner? Side by side, battling for P7. Mark Hutchinson in front of him with that new repaired 33. And Dalladone is going to take the spot Will he go for a move on Hutchinson? Not yet, but Dalladone gets a little bit of wheel spin going into the corner. He still will protect Perry. Now going into turn number 1, he goes to the inside of the 33. Is it going to stick?
Hutchinson's giving him a lot of room right there. Hutchinson sees this fight happening. Perry, though, giving Hutchinson, having a little bit of squeeze between these two. Hutchinson got into the wall earlier this race, and I don't think he really likes racing side by side around here, because any small bit of contact can just really turn his race. They're still side by side. Perry's on his inside, a little bit of wall contact. Perry yeets it up the inside. Oh, parks it on the apex, gives Hudson a little bit of a tap on the bumper, and says, I'm going to go now. I need to catch this Italian. And Alessandro Dalladone, from qualifying in reverse, up 18 spots, sits at 7th.
Well, I think we know why he qualified in reverse. He definitely was confident in his race pace, but somebody else that should at least be confident in their race pace right now, Mark Tranter. I mean, he's down 2 spots from where he started in P7, but nothing to laugh at right now. He just saw him make a great move on Mark Hutchinson, trying to keep it on there in his Caro's competition machine. He's going to pop up to 8th as well. We're back down to 9th, actually, as he goes side by side. It looks like a little bit of trouble there on the front straightaway. That's Perry.
Perry's just been having a horrible race now. Coming out of turn 4, he just spanked the wall right there. And, well, as they get onto the backstretch, there's our leader, Andrew Navarro. It looks like a world of completely 2 different races going on. Everybody else just having a massive struggle between them. And then as the top 2 just, having a Sunday drive here in Martinsville. As Navarro is on the back of one of the full send cars. I believe that would be, that's Smith, Fraser Smith. And Fraser Smith almost getting tagged by Andrew Navarro. They're going to be a little bit backed up. We got a crash right there. Lockie Brown's in the wall.
Hard contact for the 24. That brings out the 6th caution of the night. The Australian for Indy Autosport, White, back into the wall for the 24, and he just oversent it into the corner.
Kev Copeland got him on the back. Kev Copeland got him in the back, pushed him out wide into the marbles. He tried to catch it, but Copeland tagged him.
Contact there.
There was contact. Kev tagged him.
See if we can grab it on board with the 35 here. Ooh, yeah, just the slightest bit of contact going down into turn number 1. It looked like if he could have, it was either going to be a send down to the bottom, and he might have decided against it at the last moment, and that led to that contact.
Yeah, very unfortunate it's been a very unfortunate day for Lockie Brown. He's been involved in a few incidents that have not been his fault. 113 degrees out here on track, so it's a little bit slippy for these tires. Might see some drivers risk going for some tires, no fuel here. 65 degrees in the air, clear skies here in beautiful Martinsville on August 12th, around 2 p.m. local time. 2 mile per hour winds going 380 degrees, also known as northeast.
Well, here is pretty much everybody coming down into the pit lane for tires.
Go into the pits.
So Lightner stays out.
And Victor Lewandowski didn't go into the pits, as well as Shane Dunn.
Steve Brown didn't pit either. Shane Dunn stays out. Everybody back from there, including your race leader, Andrew Navarro.
Oh, Kev.
Copeland, did he miss his pit stall, or is he out first?
2 tires. No, he did miss his pit stall.
Yeah, very much missed his stall there, and he's going to go right back in, but Navarro going to come out first. 4 tires, 4 tires, 4 tires, 4 tires for everybody, looked like in the field. 1 driver with 2, that's Mark Redford in the 31 to jump a handful of spots up, but everybody else 4 tires. Does look like Austin, they're taking that strategy that we mentioned. They don't need fuel, but they do need tires, because that was the longest run we have had so far, and it was only 20 laps, but I think we already saw some major tire fall off.
Yeah, tire fall is already happening. The top 2 very well managed in tires. They're able to pull off, but this lead that Lightner has over everybody else is going to be a headache for Andrew Navarro. He's going to have to burn off those tires to even catch up to Lightner, who will be controlling this field, and he's got a field of cars who haven't had tires yet. behind him, but the tires really going to be a big advantage right here. So Lightner does have a few blockers working with him, but it's Wilson and Navarro in that third row on this restart. And against Lightner, and Lightner going with a different strategy here, trying to make it all the way, and I'll try to save a few sets of rubber for the end, as Navarro, first car on that new set of tires. You want to watch row 3 here, as pace car pulls in, and it's green, green, green. Lightner on the restart. They're already making contact. And Navarro on the bumper, all over the bumper, and Wilson comes across the nose. Around goes Wilson's hard into the wall. Chaos at the restart. 7th caution of the night.
A hard hit for Wilson there into the turn 1 wall. You can see he got a little bit too desperate going down into turn number 1. And that led to him backing himself up into the wall. Dane Baird with damage in the 36. Gotta believe a handful of other cars with damage as well. Here's the replay.
Off the
Navarro
restart,
got held up by the 37. He went down to the bottom to go 3 wide. Wilson tried to cover off the 37 to no avail. Dalladone with damage. Baird with damage. That's 2 Carroll's competition trucks getting damage here on this wreck. Wilson just wasn't clear to make that move down to the bottom, and he tried to make it just a little bit too quick.
He had the grip, but he didn't want to wait at all. So he already tried making that move, but off the restart, Navarro was already up in the bumper. They were just roadblocked right there, and everybody on these new tires were just stuck in a holding pattern and unable to go anywhere. They just got extremely desperate, and there was no room clear for Wilson to make that move. As we look at the restart, you see Navarro already burying his nose into the bumper. As they come down at turn 1, here comes Wilson, and he just straight drives across the nose of him.
And that just backed the 51 up into the wall. In the third row, they were starting on 4 fresh tires, the 42 and the 57. But you gotta think, Austin, starting on fresh tires is a smart move at really any other track, I believe, except for Martinsville, because they had so much traffic in front of them, especially on the restart. It looked like Wilson got a little bit too overzealous trying to get away from the traffic and just wasn't clear, and that led to the contact.
It's a smart move to start on fresh tires, yes. It's smart to restart here on fresh tires, yes. The thing is, though, you have to be smart on the restarts to restart behind a bunch of cars that do not have fresh tires, and you got to remember that, or else you're going to just absolutely just be involved in a massive wreck, and that's what happened here. Navarro still stuck in that third row, and in the same spot on the inside. We are going to be seeing another strategy call here by Lightner on how this restart is going to go, but Navarro needs, and everybody else needs to play this a lot more patiently than I'm going to play it with my right foot, and I'm going to play it with my bumper, because that was not a smart move off that restart.
So 7th caution, and we are now, once Lightner crosses the line, officially over halfway done. We'll have roughly about 63 laps to go. And the lights go out on the iRacing pace car, getting ready to go back to racing. It's Lightner leading the way. It's Lewandowski to his outside. Dunn, Brown rounding out that top 4. Navarro, we'll be back on row 3 alongside Max Wolf, who took 4 tires on the same pit stop as Andrew Navarro. So keep watching that third row. How aggressive are they going to be to get around the 37 and the 49? Dunn and Brown, 2 beat-up race trucks there on row 2. But Lightner's back on the gas. We're back underway. Navarro right behind Dunn on the bottom. Dunn will pull it to the outside. That's going to give free rein to Navarro on the bottom line. He's going to take over that second spot to go try and chase down Norbert Lightner.
We got cars.
Going to go into the second.
We got truck silence. We're going to park along to the back straight, as there's a lot of contact happening right there. The caution's not out. Everybody stays pointed straight. Some cars are pulling into the pit lane. We were 6 wide at one point on the back straight, and caution has not come out. A few of these drivers are pretty upset with that over the radio, that no caution was from that. But Lightner Oh, I think he was wishing for a caution because right on his tail on fresh tires, Andrew Navarro looking up his inside. He is sending it into the corner. Lightner not giving him any spot. And Lightner and Navarro, two championship rivals still side by side. One's on newer tires. Lightner cuts across the nose on Navarro.
What a move off of turn number 2 to keep that lead. Lightner has not taken tires this entire race. Navarro took tires under the 2 cautions ago. One bump to the back bumper sends him up the road. Here comes Navarro to the bottom. Championship leaders are side by side. The caution flag flies. Who is in front at the moment? Caution. It looks like it was Lightner. The 19 is going to keep the lead as the 8th caution comes out.
What a turn of events. Lightner by a nose when the caution comes out right behind him. And this is what happened right behind him. It was Victor Lewandowski getting into the back of the 49 and bringing out the caution as the moment Navarro was trying to make that move.
On board with Victor Lewandowski.
That's just too much mud. Too much mustard, too much mud, too much everything into the brakes, and well, right to the back of Shane Dunn. And this is on board of Navarro, who is getting all up the inside, all up the outside, all up into his grill and everything. And the caution came out right there, right as he was trying to make. Oh, there comes the caution. Oh, I don't know.
It could be, Austin, the timing loop around the racetrack might have been out of turn 2. And that is where iRacing scored them in the positions, but it does look like at the moment of caution, at least in iRacing standard, that Lightner is going to keep the lead. Now, the interesting thing is he is still not coming into the pit lane. He's staying out on the racetrack in the lead. Starting on the outside is going to be Andrew Navarro. We can expect him to be right on the back bumper of the 19 on this restart, but the 19 was making his car about 4 to 5 lanes wide for a good solid 2 laps there on that restart. He needs to do the exact same to keep this lead away from Navarro, at least until the next caution.
He definitely does need to keep this defensive fight up there because Lightner needs to burn off those tires that Navarro has. And with everybody pitting earlier, he is at a disadvantage. And they all went into the pits on lap 54, and that's roughly about halfway through this race. But if Lightner goes into the pits, it brings everybody into the pits again. He will be at the biggest advantage right now, so he could do that. But it's the strategy for him is just survive, and try to hopefully get a big green flag run, and something big happens behind him. And what Navarro needs to do is be patient and don't try to force an issue with Lightner, because Lightner will defend, and Navarro is very aggressive. Parmalee just needs to sit back and watch this fight, because he's got a very clean truck behind him, and chances are that these two might be in the wall very soon.
I'll get the 1 to go signal this time by and get ready to go back to racing. We'll go racing on to lap number 73. A little bit more than 50 to go. There's the lights out on the pace car. Lightner will be starting on that inside line. Top 4 all pro championship drivers. Then on row 3 is Kev Copeland and Lockie Brown, 2 AM class drivers. Wilson and Perry on the next row. Kittleman Kumo on that 5th row, rounding out the top 10 here for this restart. Ready to go back to racing. Off the 8th caution of the day here from Martinsville. Pace car down and away. It's Lightner side by side with Navarro. When's that 19 going to go and hit the loud pedal? Onto the front straightaway. There goes the 19. Navarro's still going to be on that outside line. How much is he going to send it into the corner to try and go around the outside to make a pass on Lightner through 1 and 2? Navarro's still going to be there side by side as they race down the back straightaway. Can Navarro clear him in the braking zone? He cannot. Lightner still right on the 42's door. Racing off of the corner. It's all Andrew Navarro. He takes the lead at Martinsville.
Navarro couldn't take it around the inside. Lightner is defending it right there. Caution comes out. Navarro secures the lead. Hutchison goes around in turn 4. And now's the time where I'm expecting Lightner to head into the pits now. He doesn't have the lead. Oh, that's just Hutchison. It's getting sideswiped by the 70. of Rocket Buck, and Alex has been well, he was already he's 8 laps down now. So very downward day for him, as here's Lightner. We're going to be seeing him go into the pit lane. You aren't in the lead anymore, so I don't know what strategy you're going for, unless you didn't pay Goodyear. Unless he didn't pay Goodyear some fines or some fees and doesn't have any more tires left. But Bradley Wilson, Kevin Kittleman heading into the pits as we are in our 9th caution here at Martinsville for the Apex Racing League Truck Series. We'll be right back after this small break.
Welcome back to the virtual Martinsville Speedway. Tuning back into coverage of the Apex Racing League Truck Series, round number 4 of the first season championship for this series. It's Joshua Lee here in the booth with you alongside Austin Knight, Marco Barbonera on the production tonight. And Austin ready for another restart, almost up into the double digits of yellow flag, but we did get a good green flag run a handful of cautions ago, and we've been seeing some good racing whenever we're under the green flag. It's just these drivers have not been in a long green flag run really at all tonight, and hopefully we can see one coming up soon so we can see that tire strategy come into play.
Yeah, tire strategy is definitely going to be coming into play, but Lightner is I don't know what this call by Lightner is to stay out. Like, with everybody in front of you, well, with your main rival in front of you and you're on old tires, you're just going to be a sitting duck. With all these cautions, you'll be able to stay with them until they choose to go into the pits. And we know Navarro loves, well, selling fakies into the pits. If we see our 10th caution, do you think Navarro's going to go for it? Because we are closing under 50 laps to go. And 50 laps seems about the sweet spot for these tires.
Ready to get going back to racing here at Martinsville. Field through turns 1 and 2. Lined up 2 by 2 behind the official iRacing pace truck, or pace car, excuse me. It should be a pace truck. This is a truck series. We need to get Dane Barrett on that. Yeah, I'm fully in the hashtag blame Dane train for that one. But ready to go back to racing. Pace car down and away. It's Andrew Navarro in control of the field. Norbert Lightner to his outside. Wow. The only driver to not take tires so far this race. Navarro's off and away. Parmley's going to take over second from Lightner. And the 19 is going to continue to fall down the order. Here comes Lockie Brown to his back bumper.
Yeah, Lockie Brown was on that restart, but Andrew Navarro shot off mid-corner like a cannon, because, oh my goodness, speaking like a cannon, Kev Copland's got a little bit of IKEA desk on his inside. Samuli Kumo, he's up there in 7th.
Still racing side by side as Kumo goes to the bottom of Kev Copeland. Can he make it stick on the exit of the corner? Yes, he does. No, he does not. They're still side by side heading down into turn number 3. That outside line doesn't look like too much of a death sentence here today, Austin, but it's definitely not the place to be. That inside line is where you can make all the moves, but that outside line is not too far behind in terms of speed, especially when battling with a car to your inside.
Well, he's got Bradley Wilson now. We know how aggressive Bradley can be as he's behind Samuli, and Samuli's truck is very beat up. The outside line, though, of Kev Copland's truck is very well maintained, but both of them very bad as Bradley Wilson gets to the back of Kumo. Kumo goes wide, Wilson goes up the inside. Wilson on the newest tires of everybody in the field sends it on the inside of Kev Copland, and Wilson is on a charge up through the field right now. But Copland not giving it up. As, Wilson, did he just push him out wide? Who's
I
out
don't
of
know
the
if they
wall?
just missed the braking zone. That's Mark Trancher into the wall. Hard into the wall, and the caution flag flies.
10th caution out. Mark Tranter buried in the wall.
I don't think there was contact there. I think they both went up into the wall. Copeland might have followed the 16 a little bit, but I definitely think Tranter's completely misjudged or missed that braking zone. I don't think any contact was made with him and Wilson.
That is a tough call. I think I'm with you right there. And here comes Lightner into the pits exactly as I said. 10th caution with 50 laps to go. He's going to go into the pits. Samuli Kumo bringing that IKEA desk into the pits. Watch out for any spare Allen keys being used right there. As there's Norbert Lightner. All 4 tires to... Did he forget his pit box? There's his pit box. He was going into the wrong pits. It almost went into his teammate pit box, but he realized where he was going. Also, watch his pit out. Don't want to exit a closed pit exit. Lights are green, so he's good.
Well, he'll head back onto the racetrack, and Austin, I really do not hate his strategy. I think what he did was he tried to save those tires as long as he possibly could, so he can only make 1 pit stop, and he is undoubtedly going to have the freshest tires now, and if everybody else doesn't pit for the rest of this race, he'll still be on the freshest tires. He didn't lose too much time. He's only down in 12th. That was not a terrible strategy from Lightner. I believe he pitted from P2, even after staying out 30 laps more than everybody else.
30 lap newer tires equals a lot of pace right here. These tires are good until lap 50. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but it's not going to be a giant deficit between them because we saw Bradley Wilson. He got into a massive incident. He took more tires and damage, and he was up through the field, and that was on 20 lap newer tires. So Navarro is going to be in the clean row right now. He's got Parmalee up there. Parmalee's not that aggressive, but you need to watch out for. You really need to watch out for because later in this race, Lightner is going to be pushing through that top 10 like a hot knife through butter.
How long have you been waiting to use that pun?
That wasn't a pun.
Or that joke, excuse me.
It wasn't a joke. It's just a saying.
Oh, that's saying.
I don't know. I don't plan jokes like I'm gonna use this one today. I'm gonna use this one today.
You know,
We
you don't
just
put
had-
them in your broadcast notes?
No.
Wow, I think you should have a table of them that you can use and just check mark them off and try and get them all
I'm not
in.
a sound pad.
I'm just saying you should set out a list, try and get them all in before the end of a broadcast, and we could have a tally going.
That's you know, I might do that, but my desk would just be filled with just horrible puns or just horrible sayings. So pace car's back in. Andrew Navarro puts the pedal to the metal. We're going back to green here at Martinsville. And it's a horrible start by Parmalee. And up the inside goes Wolf, howling into second place. And oh, big hit from behind. That's Lockie Brown into Parmalee. Parmalee goes hard into the wall and around. And a caution is out. 11th caution of the night. And Lightner's in 10th.
And
Samuli
Samuli's
Kumo.
IKEA boxes are flying all over the back straightaway there at the exit of turn 2. Here's the replay.
The 24 just get Wilson. Wilson got into the 24, which chain reaction, Parmalee up into the wall and into Tim Perry. And then another post, that was Samuli just trying to watch it. Yeah, that was a punt by Wilson into Brown, which caused Parmalee to get shot up into Perry. And Perry's been, well, after Perry was denied that second place, and this is Samuli Kumo, who I just think just spun it, just trying to avoid it. See all the chaos happening, get off the throttle. Oh, he got onto the curb, then a side door right there. Was that a Lightner?
It might have been. Yes, it was. Lightner was in the middle of this.
Oh, it was the 12.
Yeah, he went right on by.
Yeah, there was a 12. That wasn't Lightner. That was Fernando Torres that got into the side of Samuli, but Dang, that is very unfortunate. Wilson's being incredibly aggressive coming through the field right there. Smoothly Kumo getting some fresh, fresh body work and making sure all those boxes are in check. Gets back on track right there. 11th caution of the night out. Navarro has not gone into the pits to cover off Lightner.
Lightner made up 2 spots on that restart. Not the best, but also stuck behind a good bit of traffic.
It was one corner, so...
Yeah, 1 corner stuck behind a good bit of traffic, but 2 spots, not bad. And he's going to go up into P number 10, but it's still Navarro at the front of the field. It's Max Wolf, Lockie Brown, Bradley Wilson, Kevin Kittleman, the top 5. 2 AM drivers, 3 pro at the front of the field. And closing in on just about 30 to go, and we're getting ready to go back to racing. It looks like those lights are going to stay on the pace car here for the moment, and we'll be going back to racing on lap number 96.
Yeah, 96 coming up, and, Navarro will really need to look into his strategy, but look deep into the playbook right now because he knows Lightner's on fresher tires. His teammate Bradley Wilson is giving him good data right now to say, hey, I'm very fast right now. I can clear all you guys if we stay green. And Navarro just has the advantage. So I feel like the ball is in Lightner's court because Navarro, if he goes to the pits, he will be down in the 12th depending on how many people go into the pits. If it's just him to cover off Lightner, he'll be behind Lightner. So Navarro really needs to hope for a green flag run, but that's what Lightner also wants right now. Just hopefully everything behind Navarro bunches up and Lightner's stuck in traffic and can't get up there. But Lightner definitely has the fastest truck, and if this goes yellow again, I feel like everyone's going to go into the pits. Navarro pushing out Wolf wide. We go back to green, and look at Wilson off the restart, already jumping Brown off the inside. And he's going to try to hold it around the outside of the fight for third. And Wilson does make it work right there. And now Wilson on the back of Wolf. Wilson, 20-lap newer tires. Then Max Wolf in second. Lockie Brown dives into the pit lane.
Into the pits goes the 24 from P12. He's going to fall down the order now. Wilson on the back bumper of Max Wolf. Lunatic Racing versus Evo SR as they go down the back straightaway. Can Wilson make a move to the bottom of the 18? They go into turn number 3. Wilson not going to be able to get close enough to that back bumper to make a move on him. Wolf going to continue to cover off that spot there in P2. He does have the tires. Wilson pitted on 75. Same thing with Kevin Kittleman behind. Navarro and Wolf pitted on lap 54.
There's some wall contact happening behind him. Norbert Lightner has all the tires in the world. Sends it down the inside of Victor Lewandowski. Up for 7th place. Norbert Lightner getting into, he's already getting into attack position. 3 spots on that restart. And he is still moving up some more on the back of Kev Copland. Goes down the inside. Kev not giving him any spot at all. Well, he just completely deviates from the entire track and defends that inside line. Is he going to do the same right here? Yes, he is. That's an aggressive defensive move by Kev. Kev's not going to scare it. Lightner up into 6th, and this is Norbert's, Lightner's. This is the run that he needs. Max Wolf is still staying ahead of Bradley Wilson with 25 laps to go here in Martinsville for round 4 of the ARL Truck Series.
And they race back to the back straightaway, and that is Max Wolf still just trying to hold off Bradley Wilson for the moment. 100 laps down, 25 now to go. And Max Wolf still just covering off that 2nd spot. And like you mentioned, new fastest lap of the race currently set. And it looks to be right now from Andrew Navarro, 19.78 seconds. And you're on board with Bradley Wilson there from P3 as he tries to fight for that 2nd spot. Just not getting close enough to Wolf, and you can see even with that tire difference of roughly about 20 laps, Bradley Wilson just not able to get close enough to Max Wolf. Either the 18 really took care of those tires or Wilson did the exact opposite.
I think Wilson did exactly the opposite. He was very aggressive going up the field, unlike the cars behind him and the car behind him, as Norbert Lightner goes on to the inside of Fraser Smith. I think Smith might have let him by, and here comes Lightner right now. He's on the back of Kevin Kittleman, but just look how much pace he is making up compared to everybody else. Lightner's last lap, 19.99. Andrew Navarro's last lap, 22.2. Wilson's last lap, 20.20. So beyond pace right now, and oh, there is Wilson in view. Kevin Kittleman's the only one separating Wilson from Lightner, and Wilson has a little bit of help. Indy Autosport and Lunatic Racing are in a slight partnership with each other. They both have the Lunatic logo on there. They both have Indy Autosport up there. They share the same sponsors, so they are not the same team, but they are partnered with them. So Lightner is going to have a little bit of handful with Kittleman ahead of him.
On board with Lightner.
Well,
Good
here he
set down to
goes.
the bottom of Kevin Kittleman, and that is going to be a successful one up into P4. You can see Bradley Wilson in front of him now. You can see Max Wolf, but the gap to the lead now about 3 seconds as he continues to try and reel in the trucks in front of him. Next target is Bradley Wilson. After that, it's Max Wolf. Then it's Andrew Navarro to try and race for this win. Through the turns 3 and 4. He's on the back bumper of Wilson. How aggressive is he going to be with this move with 17 to go?
Wilson's Navarro's teammates. Wilson's also extremely aggressive, and we know on how these guys like to go. They're going to go rough. They're going to go hard, but Lightner has all the grip in his world. He's going to try to force Wilson into a mistake. If he sees the opportunity, he's going to go for it. He's looking down the inside. Wilson shows the window. He can do it. He's already side by side with him, and he's going to have another opportunity to look down the inside. Wilson defends well, doesn't miss the opportunity right there. Lightner, he's going to try to get him to play the long game right there. He's going to try to go on to the outside right here and force Wilson to make a mistake going down low, and he is right on the bumper once more. Getting onto the throttle, heading into the back straight, looks down the inside, sends it down to the inside. Norbert Lightner into third, shows the bumper. Wilson can't fight back. And what Navarro doesn't need right now is a caution to come out, because, well, that would guarantee Lightner the win. Off the restart, just give him into arm's reach of him off the restart, and boom, that's all he needs. He'll be starting right behind Navarro, and it'll just be a drag race. And if everybody goes to the pits, Lightner can just stay out, because he has the tires to win this right now. So he needs just to stay green. Max Wolf was just massaging these tires since he went into the pits on lap 54, same as Andrew Navarro. But Wolf, though, cannot fight the pace of Lightner. Lightner is right there. Lightner's getting aggressive. He needs to get past Wolf as Navarro is coming into traffic.
Right on
Lightner.
that back bumper of Wolf is the 19 of Norbert Lightner. He's getting caught up here, Austin. This is exactly the opposite of what he needs. And he knows that he sends it to the bottom. Contact made. The
Caution's
goes
out.
around and the caution flies.
The send was completely accidental. He locked up the rears heading into the braking zone and got into Max Wolf. Caution flies. Yeah, as we see the replay, the tire marks already, and that is not what Norbert Lightner wanted to do. I can tell you he is feeling absolutely horrible about that, but caution is out. Navarro, Lightner, 1 and 2 right now. And there is a 30-lap difference on tires, and we're going to be restarting with under 10 laps to go here at Martinsville.
Is anybody going to pit? I think that's the big question we should be asking right now. Will anybody at the front of this field take a chance on tires? No. It's only Torres and Kumo that are going to come in. So nobody else going to elect for new tires, which means that Andrew Navarro will be on roughly about 60-lap-old tires. I believe when we go back to green, it's going to be about 63. Then Norbert Lightner, he pitted on lap 85. difference in tires going to be only about 40 laps, a little bit less than that, about 35 when we go back to green. So we're really starting to see that difference in tires. This is going to be a interesting end to this race to see how this all plays out.
Andrew Navarro does have a weapon to his disposal. His teammate of Bradley Wilson will be starting behind him. They might communicate saying, hey, I'm going to go at this time and try to catch Lightner off guard and try to get Wilson off the restart up into second place and to the inside of Lightner to try to give Lightner a little bit of a hard time and get him caught up behind Wilson once more. That's probably what's the playbook right now in the Lunatic Racing garage, because Lightner has all the tires to his advantage. Navarro, we know on how fast he is. He hasn't had to pressure these tires at all. He's actually trying to pressure Tony to keep moving right now as he's inside. He wants to go racing. All these drivers wants to go racing. The flag is up in the air. The lights are still on the pace car. We're going to go green with 5 laps to go. Oh, 30 lap difference of tires. Got a replay of Steve Brown. Did what? Okay.
That was a deciding to park it move right there.
He wants to watch.
He wants to watch how this ends, and I do not blame him, because it is going to be Navarro versus Lightner, and I'm willing to bet Navarro is going to get relatively aggressive on this restart. But they cross the line, the lights go out, we'll be going green with 5 to go.
Yeah, last time we saw something like this, Lightner was leading, Navarro was pressuring Lightner on newer tires. The roles have completely reversed here. At Martinsville, Lightner's on the newer tires, Navarro's on the older tires. We got 5 laps to see who is gonna be coming home, waving that checker flag and burning this house down. I hope you're on the edge of your seat, because the Apex Racing League Truck Series is back to green, and exactly as it happened, Wilson gets an amazing restart. Lightner falls down into third, and down the inside of Lightner, that's Fraser Smith. Fraser Smith and Lightner side by side. Lightner's falling down the field and falling away from Navarro as he gets past Smith, and now he needs to get past Wilson now. 4 laps remaining here at Martinsville. Wilson helping his teammate out. He's going to be making that truck as wide as he can, and a big nuisance for Norbert Lightner. They head into turn number 1 and 2. Wilson still ahead of Lightner. Lightner trying to look around to the outside, not going to work. He's going to try to go for the switchback now.
Right on the back bumper is Bradley Wilson. Here comes Lightner to the bottom. He looks for second place. He's still side by side. Tiny bit of door slamming going on as they exit 2. It'll be 2 to go at the line. Time running out for Lightner. He has a second to make up on your race leader. Can those 20 lap, almost 30 lap better tires for Lightner come in handy in these last 2 final laps? Going back into 1, it's Lightner trying to catch up, but the 1.2 second gap might be a little bit too much at the end of this one. Through turns 3 and 4, he can see the white flag. It's 1 more lap around Martinsville for Andrew Navarro, looking for his 3rd race win of the season, looking to extend his lead at the front of the season. He has 2 top 5s. A top 10 in every single round. He's gonna make it 3 top 5s and another win for Andrew Navarro. He'll take it from Martinsville.
Lunatic Racing pulled out the playbook. Bradley Wilson putting in the work right there, being Fernando Alonso of them right there. He did everything they needed to do to get the block on Lightner to get the win, and they are going to be celebrating tonight here as it's Andrew Navarro taking another victory, and he's gonna burn it down here at Martinsville.
Field will come onto the front straightaway. Take a look at that double burnout here for the Lunatic Racing drivers, the 42 and the 51. It's Navarro, it's Wilson. And there's that photo up on the front straightaway. Kev Copeland celebrating as well. A 6th place finish for the number 68, and he does finish atop of the amateur class exactly here in the 6th spot. Fraser Smith also burning it down as the 2 Lunatic Racing drivers fight it out on the front straightaway. But that is concluding tonight's race here from Martinsville, and what a win it was for Andrew Navarro. Norbert Lightner, maybe with a little bit more time, could have gotten it, and maybe with a little bit of a better restart, but he'll end up in 2nd place. It's Fraser Smith in 3rd, Bradley Wilson 4th, with Max Wolf rounding out that top 5. Kev Copeland, Tim Perry, Fernando Torres, Victor Lewandowski, and Sebastian Detweiler. That rounds out that top 10. Kevin Kittleman, Samuli Kumo, Martin Shirley, Shane Dunn, and Lockie Brown, that top 15. Dane Baird, Alex Rogenbuck, Steve Brown, Dan Parmalee, and Mark Tranter, that top 20. It's Peter Bennett, Mark Hutchinson, Mark Redford, and Alessandro Dalladone with Janos Motos finishing out the 25 car field. That finishes this race from Martinsville.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the one thing that really helped was teammates. The teamwork of Lunatic Racing, Bradley Wilson, and Navarro really made that race work. Wilson got back up to Navarro, and on that restart, they did exactly what they needed to do, and they put the block on Lightner, and wow.
We enter the post-race show now here on Apex Racing TV, ready to speak with your race winner. It's Andrew Navarro. He joins us here on the booth now. Andrew, a great race for you today, almost picture perfect, leading just about every single lap of that race. Talk about it from your perspective in the number 42, because it looked like a tough one, especially with all the cautions we had tonight.
Yeah, it was a interesting race. The starting from pole was quite nice, especially with a lot of cautions at the very early stages. It felt like we had a decent green flag run on the middle part of the run, and then at the end there, it was just caution after caution. And Norbert was coming with the new tires. I think they were like 30 lap fresher. So I was a little scared that he was going to get me, but we were able to hold on, which was nice.
And of course, your 3rd win of the season, and you're going to extend your points lead by at least 1 point, possibly 2. And you came in only 1 point above Norbert Lightner. You finished 1 position above him today. With 4 rounds left, what can you do to try and solidify that championship at the top of the field? Because we have 4 very unique racetracks that we're going to be finishing out this calendar.
Yeah, I mean, just solid finishes are going to be very important. I think Norbert's been really consistent. I think Daytona was his worst finish, if I'm not mistaken. And then he's been, Watkins Glen, he was really good at Charlotte and here too. So, I mean, it's just consistency pretty much for the rest of the last 4 races. And hopefully luck's on our side.
And going into the next round at Auto Club, you're going to try and keep up this momentum and possibly do a bit more of that teammate work that we saw today?
Yeah, Auto Club's going to be, especially with the trucks. If I'm not mistaken, they are running the plate aero package at Auto Club. I'm not 100% sure on that, but so that's going to be like teammate, very important. And me and Bradley work really well together. At Daytona, it worked perfectly. And then here too, we played some team games, which sucks that he wasn't able to get the second. He was 1-4X away from a penalty, so he was a little scared there. But a great finish for the team, which is always good.
Then congratulations on your win here at Martinsville, and we'll see you in 1 week's time from Auto Club.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Andrew Navarro, race winner here tonight in the virtual Martinsville Speedway. And we're going to transfer over to Austin Knight. Standing by with your 3rd place finisher, it's Fraser Smith for Full Send Racing.
Fraser, how was that race? And that restart really helped you out right there.
Yeah, so you probably saw at the start I got into a couple of crashes, probably 50-50, and then I finally went into the pits, had 6 minutes of repairs, so I felt sorry for myself. Didn't realise we had a fast repair, so fell right to the back. Then finally realised we had one, and obviously cheered up. And I think I was just saying to the guys in the waiting area, I think it probably saved me, because whilst I was at the back trying to get my lap back, there was just loads of wrecks ahead, so it worked out every cloud.
Yeah, from what I understand, this was your first ever race at Martinsville ever in any car. Did you buy the track when you saw the schedule, or like when was the track purchase?
Yeah, so basically I've not been put in the AM class for this, but my overall I rating has only ever come from Daytona and Talladega. So basically I'm a rookie on every track, so I had to do a bit of a spending spree this season. But I intend to do like NIS next year, so.
All right, well, let me tell you, even though it's your first race here, that a lot of that experience that you have on road courses and really paid off right here, moving up through the packs at Daytona and Talladega. Third place right here, and a amazing finish for you.
Yeah, I'll take that. On the final restart, when I was behind Bradley and Andrew, I knew that they'd obviously be going together, so I think I just played my cards right there, really, and got lucky.
Well, the luck's there. Third place, great finish, and we'll see you next week. But before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, just you guys, everyone at Apex, and all my teammates at Full Send.
All right, that was Fraser Smith.
Cheers, guys.
With a fantastic third place finish, and joining Josh next. Josh, who do you have ready for you?
We're going to stand by with Max Wolf here for Evo SR. 5th place finish for Max in the number 18. Max, it was a good effort from you today. Just could not get close enough for that win. But how was that race in the number 18?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't expect to be near the front at all, so that was quite a pleasant surprise. A lot of cautions, and we could get the strategy right. So we were there at the end, like P2. I saw back the accident, I could have left more space, so that was a bit of a shame with the sand that spun me around, but still, I'm pretty happy with the result.
And coming into this race, you came in 5th in the points, a handful of points behind Alessandro Dalladone, who was ahead of you. Same thing with Bradley Wilson, who's up there in 3rd and not too far off of the leaders. How is this race going to affect your confidence and your momentum heading into the final 4 races of the season to hopefully gain a little bit more points and get in that top 3 in the point standings?
Well, it definitely lit a fire in me, this race, because I knew I have to pace, and I know I can be there. So I'm just going to try harder to get up front each and every race and fight the guys.
And heading into the Auto Club Speedway in 1 week's time, do you think you can walk away with another top 5?
It's going to be difficult for sure. The competition is strong, but the least that we can do is try.
And you're keeping up your top 10 streak. 4 top 10s in the first 4 races. Congratulations on the 5th place here today.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Max Wolf. He finished in 5th today. We'll go down to P number 6. And the winner of the amateur class race today is Kev Copeland, with standing by with Austin Knight.
Yep, standing by with the 33. Kev, how was that race for you? You were involved in a few incidents early on, but later all worked out for you. It was a 4th place finish in the amateur field and a 11th place overall. How was that race in that Toyota?
Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure that I finished 6th, just behind Max.
Am I looking at the wrong results?
I think you might be, because I was in the 68 car. But, you know, it's fine.
Oh, gosh, dang
it. You worried me there.
My timing screen's completely messed up. I was looking at something completely different. You finished first, top of the amateur field today. I think I got...
Brilliant.
Josh, you take this. I'm retiring. I'm done. So.
I do not know how that happened. I mean, I was P19 the restart before the final restart. I don't know how that happened. I think, as you said, I had a few little issues early on, but somehow I just managed to stay out of the big wrecks. And yeah, I didn't really have the pace in open running, but I just amazingly managed to avoid the wrecks, and that was really all that did it for me. So I'm super chuffed to be that far up. I haven't really had the pace in these cars so far in all the rounds that we've done, so it was nice to get a good result tonight.
Yeah, it was good result. Sorry about that. Dyslexia took over like crazy, but yeah, you were absolutely fantastic out there. Up 13 spots, biggest mover of the race, and top the AM field.
Yeah, it was just like I looked down and suddenly I was well in the top 10. It's like people just kept falling off the track in front of me, so I took advantage of that, didn't bin it, and just made the most of it. So yeah, gutted for Max that he lost his P2 because I really thought he had that in the bag, but overall for us both to get good top 10 finishes, really chuffed.
Yeah, congrats on the top 10 finish and the AM class win. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
You guys for a great stream. I'm looking forward to looking at it back, although I suspect that one might have been a bit dull. I've never seen so many cautions. And my wife, who's watching next door and either cheering me on or is watching something else now because she's bored. So thanks.
Thank you for putting on a good show. Congrats once again, and over to Josh.
And we are going to head over to our final interview here. Very, very quickly, we're going to squeeze one in with Apex Racing TV's own Dane Baird. Dane, it wasn't the best showing for you in Carol's competition today, but what can you take out of Martinsville to head over into the remaining 4 rounds?
I learned a massive lesson in today's round. I'm not sure if you picked this up on the broadcast. There was a lot going on. But I learned that you can't serve penalties under caution. No one told me this. And so that's basically what ended my race. I was doing fairly well, I would say, up in the top 10 for like the first half of the race. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. I got 4x on basically every single wreck that caused the caution. None of them I could really do anything about. I think a couple of them I got hit from behind by people not slowing down. A couple of them I just had nowhere to go. But yeah, that ended up getting me a drive-through penalty. I then served it. Well, I thought I did anyway. I went down through the pits, tried to serve it, didn't clear, because obviously you can't serve them under cautions, which I didn't know. So I lost about 10 spots just in the caution for no reason. And then straight after the caution I got a meatball flag, so then I had to serve my drive-through and my meatball, so I ended up 2 laps down. So that's basically what ended my race, and I didn't gain many positions from there.
We hope for a better showing in Auto Club. Thank you for joining us post-race here in the booth, Dane.
Yeah, cheers guys. Thanks for the broadcast and for the league, and thanks for the Esports guys and the Kairos competition guys for joining us. It was a lot of fun despite the cautions.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here in the booth. Good to hear from Dane Baird, and that is going to conclude the post-race show here for the Apex Racing League Truck Series, and that concludes our broadcast live on Apex Racing TV. You can join us in 1 week's time. We'll be going live from the virtual Auto Club Speedway for round number 5 of the championship. But for now, for Austin Knight, for Marco Barbanera, my name is Joshua Lee. We are saying good night from virtual Martinsville.